Welcome to online lectures by CA Studies. For more lectures online, please do visit castudies.lk.
So this video we will be looking at future values and present values, starting with single cash flows. Okay, what do you know about single cash flow? What is meant by single cash flow? Single cash flow means the cash received for the entire investment period, or the cash invested for the entire investment period is called single cash flow. So you don't, example, for an investment of fixed deposit, you invest only one time, no? Isn't it? You invest only once. Such investment can be considered as a fixed single cash flow because you invested only one time. So single cash flows definition therefore will be cash flows invested for a particular only once. Okay. So with that, let's focus on the formulas that we are about to use to calculate future values and present values of single cash flows. Okay. Imagine a compound interest scenario where future value for one cash flow is equal to the cash flow multiplied by 1 plus r to the power n which represents the investment period. So you could denote it as this x can be known as present value. That means today's value. Okay. Now we get introduced to the terms present value and future value. Alright. So what is future value? So far we saw future value means the end value of the investment. But what is present value therefore? Present value is the beginning value of the investment. Alright. So, if you take a timeline, let's say year 1 to year 10 years timeline, let's say 1000 rupees in 2020 and now 10 years is 2030. 1000 rupees in 2020 will not be worth 1000 rupees in 2030 because the goods that we were able to buy using 1000 rupees we will not be able to buy in 10 years time because of price increases or decrease in the value of money due to maybe interest rate, inflation and even COVID. Okay. So 1000 rupees today may be equal to 2000 rupees in 10 years time. So this is future value and this is called present value. So this is the difference between a future value and a present value. So the goods that we weren't able to buy using 1000 rupees in year 10 we can buy using 2000 rupees. Right? So that's why future value formula is equal to today's value, which is the present value 1000 multiplied by the interest rate at which this changes to 2000. Because there is a percentage change now, something is changing this. That interest rate is incorporated into the formula for the number of years. Alright, so with that we could say future value equal present value, which is today's money, into 1 plus r to the power n, where r is our interest rate. Okay. Let's take therefore the present value formula. The present value formula, if you see this formula, if you recall what we learned in the equations chapter, we have to make present value the subject. We should divide 1 plus r to the power n here and cut it off, where we get future value b divided by 1 plus r to the power n. Therefore, present value formula present value equals to future value divided by 1 plus r to the power n. This in turn means that future value is equal to, present value is equal to future value multiplied by 1 divided by 1 plus r to the power n. Alright, this is a very important part. You all know. Also remember, so if something is divided like this, you could always put 1 here, because if you multiply the numerators, it is going to give anyway the same value. So you don't have to, that's the logic behind this fraction. 1 anyway, 1 we can say it is 1. Because if you multiply anything by 1, that same answer only you will get. Alright. So key thing is this, think about this formula. If you think about this formula, this part is known as discount factor. It's a very key thing in your exam and in your throughout the CA studies, CA Sri Lanka syllabus. So make sure you remember that this fraction represents discount factor. Discount factor means, okay, if you take year 1 to year 10, as I told initially in this at the beginning of this chapter, year 10's value was let's say for example 2000 and year 1's is 1000. Discounting means bringing the future value to present value. This is discounting. Compounding means bringing present value to future value. Okay. That's why future value formula is equal to the compound interest formula, where we had interest rate into several years we multiplied. If you see back the formula for the fixed interest rate of compound interests, this is the formula, same thing, because only this cash flow is invested, so it cannot be invested 2-3 times. So it cannot be called as annual cash flow or anything like that. It is just a single cash flow. Whereas when we turn around this formula to find the present value, we can get the discounting formula, which is future value divided by 1 plus r to the power n, where if you split it, it is 1 divided by 1 plus r to the power n, which is known as the discount factor. Now this discount factor you can refer to a table that will probably be given in your exam, which is called discount table. Discount factor table, which where you have year, the number of years like this, 1, 2, 3 for example, and the rate, interest rates over this side, 5%, 10%, 15% and so on, and you have the value if you insert into this formula. So for example, if you have 5% annual interest. Now these are all annual interest rates, okay, because this is for the years, no? Right? Assume this is annual interest, right? Because, and this is the number of years. Yeah. So for 5% interest, your discount factor will be 1 divided by 1 plus 5% to the power. How many years for the first year? 1 year. For second year, 2 years. Because first year and the second year. So 1 plus 1, 2. Likewise. So for the first year, 0.952. If you look at your annuity, discount factor table, you will be seeing a figure called 0.952, which they have obtained by applying this formula. Okay, so make sure, so understand that the discount factor table has been created using the discount factor formula. It's no magic. So in this scenario, you can use the discount factor table itself. You could say here discount factor at 5% for year 1. And you straight away refer to the table and get that figure and apply it here. Or else you could simply, don't waste time, but you could simply calculate this, put it into this formula and take the value which will be the same as the table value. So go for shortcuts. When they give the discount factor table, if they give it, go for it. Go for the discount factor table. But be careful. There are 2 types of tables. In chapter 4, you will, chapter 4, you will be introduced to a new table associated with discounting, and that new table is known as annuity factor table. Now, don't use that table for these scenarios. That means this scenario means a single cash flow being discounted to find the present value. No. For this scenario, where you have to find for a single cash flow a single discount factor, you use your discount factor table. Alright? Okay. So this is all you have to know about single cash flows, calculating present value and future. Okay, let's look at the example. Rice Limited invests a sum today to generate 10,000 in 5 years time. That means today we can write year 0, 10 years we can write as year 10. Now he is inputting some money we don't know, that is we can name it as X or anything, to generate 10,000 in, this is 5 years, no? Year 5, okay, 10,000 in year 5. Calculate amount needed to be invested today at the annual interest rate of 10% plus to get 10,000 rupees at end of year 5. Then now we know, so today's value means what is the missing missing item? The present value is missing. So we can apply the present value formula to find the present value, which is present value equal future value multiplied by 1 over 1 plus r to the power n. Future value we know in 5 years time it will be 10,000 rupees. So you put 10,000 multiply by 1 over 1 plus 10% interest for a year, annual interest rate, and therefore this n must be in years because we have written r per in yearly basis. So number of years to which 10% is applicable to is 0 to 5 years. So 5 years. Alright. So if you calculate 1.1 to the power 5 is equal to 0.620. If you refer the discount factor table, vertically see year 5 and horizontally search for 10%. The value there will be definitely equal to 0.620. And that you multiply by 10,000. See what's the answer you get? 6,200. So today you must put 6,200 in order to get 10,000 in year 5. Then if you use this is present value formula. Now if you just want to verify whether you get the same future value, use the future value formula. Present value future value equals present value into 1 plus r to the power n. Present value is 6,200 multiplied by 1 plus 10% to the power 5. We'll check and see whether the answer is the same. It should be equal to, okay, it has a decimal difference because this is giving a big decimal difference. So it's coming to 9,985, nearly 10,000. Okay, that's due to the decimal difference. So this is how in a question they will give. So in the question you saw that they will give either the future value or the present value and ask you to find one of it. Or they will, that's it, they will ask. So you should remember the formula appropriately, and also you can use a technique of following the discount factor table straight away, or you could simply rely on this formula. Make sure when you use the formula, if the rate is for a particular period, the same number of periods must be reflected in n. N, if for example, if the rate is a quarterly rate, then n must reflect the number of quarters within a year, or not within a year, within the investment period. Okay, be mindful of that. So within the investment period, how many quarters are available must be applied here. But in effective annual interest rate scenario, within a year, how many periods are available? Within a year. In effective annual interest rate, n represents within a year how many periods. But in any other scenario, it represents the number of periods within the investment period. Alright. So with that, we finish single cash flow calculations of present value and future value. Next, let's look at calculating present value and future value of regular cash flow. Now, in regular cash flows, there are two scenarios in which you can calculate future value and present value. There are two scenarios. The first scenario is when the cash flows are invested in advance. Okay, just remember like that. Part A, invested in advance. Advance means, example, imagine like this. Okay, so I will show the example using the first method, which is called the normal method. Then straight away you all can understand. Okay, in normal method, This is like the logical method, okay? So let's first draw a timeline for the question that they have given. A person invests 400 rupees now in a pension fund and further 400 rupees for 3 years. How much will be the total investment value at the end of the investment period if the interest rate is 10% per year? First, let's draw a timeline to view that. So, we have year 0 which is representing today and year 1. Beginning of year 1 is year 0 anyway, yeah. So, this is end of year 1. Alright, so I'm going to say this is also known as beginning of year 1. Then beginning of year 2, end of year 2, beginning of year 3, end of year 3, beginning of year 4, end of year 4. Now, they said she invests 400 rupees now. Okay. And then for another 3 years. Now, from now to end of 1 year, it is 1 year. So, this can be considered as 1 year 1 year period. So, it may be 400 rupees she is investing at the end of year 1 also. She invests 400. Now, this is payment in advance. Now, advance means what? We say something is advance when we make a payment before that event happened, right? Before now let's say we promise to have a tuition class. So, the lecturer asks for advance fee before giving the lectures to the student. Then giving the lecture is the action, but before the action the fees are paid. So, likewise only when they say payment in advance annually, that means you are paying at the beginning of the year. You are not paying at the end of the year. You are paying at the beginning of the year. That is the key point you should remember when it comes to payments in advance. Fine. So, today she is paying 400 rupees to a pension fund. Then next timeline is end of year 1. Is it a beginning of a year? No. Leave it. Second is here where the beginning of year 2. She pays in advance for the second year. Then third year she pays in advance in the January of the third year, in the month of January of the third year. She pays, and they told that she invests in another 3 years. That means the key word there is another 3 years. Another means what? Additionally some 3 years more. So 400 rupees today. Then since our payment is in advance, beginning of year 2 it will be 400 rupees, because payments in advance means we are paying at the beginning of the year, and then we have beginning of year 3 400 rupees, and then another payment she does, so that is also 400 rupees. Okay. Alright. So then see, today she is paying and another 3 years she is paying, which makes the investment period to be 4 years. Now, that's a key element that you should be able to identify when it comes to the exam. Because in the exam they will not give the investment period straight away, it is 4 years. They will give like this. So you should think, today she is inputting 400 rupees to the pension fund and another 3 times she is investing on an annual basis, and that also in advance. If it is in advance, then it should be at the beginning of each year. So year 1's beginning only today. So without saying that, they said today. But when they say today, you must be able to catch that this is beginning of year 1. Okay. Now how to find? Now we know, therefore from this we can conclude that investment period is 4 years. And the interest rate is 10% per year. Okay. Now to calculate the future value, take like this. You will have to calculate using the compound interest formula, which is, so this 400 we are going to take it at the end of year 4. What will happen? Okay, it will be 400 is x, where the formula of future value is x into 1 plus r to the power n. Compound interest formula. Make a note, try to connect these formulas. So the compound interest formula that we learned in the beginning for fixed interest rates, that formula only we will apply here to find the future value of a single cash flow in year 1. Now this is similar to what we did for single cash flows as well, where we multiplied present value into 1 plus r to the power n. Same thing. Why we do that? Because this is one item, one cash flow. That's why we applied the single cash flow future value formula. Alright, so it will be 400 is the amount, 1 plus 10% per annum. How many years 400 will be in the pension fund? How many years it will be in your pension fund? Because at the end of year 4 only you can take your pension. So from year 1 itself you are starting to invest. So how many years it is there in the fund? 4 years. So you write 4 years. Then what will be your answer? 1.1 to the power 4 multiplied by 400. 585.6. Next, year 2's item. Same compound interest formula. 400 multiplied by 1 plus 10% to the power. How many years it is there? It is there for 1, and then beginning of year 3 to end of year 3 is 2. So this is another 1. And beginning of year 4 to end of year 4, it is another 1. 1, 2, 3. So it's there for 3 years in the pension fund. So it will be 1.1 to the power 3 multiplied by 400, 532.4. Next, $400 of year 3, 1 plus 10%. So it is there in the pension fund for 2 years. So 1.1 to the power 2 multiplied by 400 is 484. Finally, beginning of, this is very important because in a in advance, because when it comes to arrears only you will realize the importance of knowing beginning and end of the year. So be very sharp that if they say advance payment, that means it is representing beginning of the period that payment is applicable to. Alright, so this 400 will be 400 multiplied by 1 plus 10% to the power, how many years? Beginning, no, they made it, so it is there in the pension fund for 1 year. So 400 into 1.1 is 440. Now, the future value of regular payments of how much? The total regular payment is how much? Total regular payment. We made total of regular payments are 400 into 4,600. Therefore, okay, we could put here. No need right here. Therefore, future value of 1,600 rupees regularly paid is the addition of all these 4 future values. Remember that. The addition of all the future values is the total future value of the regular payment of 400 rupees, which amounts to 1,600 rupees in the end. Now, calculate the total. $2,042. This will be your future value answer when you are required to calculate the future value of a regular payment using, if the payment is made in advance.
Thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned with castudies.lk for more lectures online.